In less than 2 weeks, I will start hitchhiking from Portugal to Australia, and today I'm finally telling you all about it. In this video, I will go through the general route I'm taking, my traveling style for this trip, how long I think it's going to take, and also how much money I think I will need and how much money I have, because unfortunately they are not the same. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting from the beginning, I will leave Portugal on the 17th of March, and I will try to make my way to Turkey quite fast. I'm calling this the turbo mode, and I decided to do it because Europe is very expensive, it's cold, and I've traveled around Europe for quite a lot of months already, so now I really just want to get to Asia. For this first part, I basically have some friends that can host me in a few countries, so those will be my resting points, and in between them I will try to hitchhike as fast as possible, and when the sun starts going down, I will pitch my tent or hammock somewhere, probably near a gas station. If I'm in a city, I will try to do couchsurfing to spend the night, but honestly, each night I will see what I have to work with and what I can find.
So just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan?
I have concepts of a plan.
After leaving Hungary, I don't have more friends. So for Serbia and Bulgaria, it's going to be either camping or couchsurfing until I get to Istanbul. All in all, I think it might take me around 20 to 25 days to reach Turkey, and from there the main journey begins, with a traveling style that is closest to my normal one. For those of you who don't know me, this basically means finding a volunteering opportunity on Worldpackers, where I will stay for like 1 to 3 weeks, then find another one, hitchhike my way there, maybe stopping for 1 to 2 days in a hostel in between. And I will basically do this on loop, so volunteer, hitchhike, going towards east and then south until I get to Australia. Why volunteer so much, you may ask, and there's actually a lot of reasons why, but just to name the main ones, basically with Worldpackers is like a work exchange. So I work my 5 hours per day, and in exchange they give me food and accommodation, and I don't have to pay anything, which is amazing because, as you will understand when we get to the money section, I don't have that much to spend. Then these opportunities also allow me to meet pretty cool people, get to know the local culture, and visit beautiful nature around, and it also helps me to prevent travel burnout because it makes me travel way slower. I tend to volunteer mostly in eco communities because that's like my favorite environment to be in. But I would also really like to try a hostel here and there, maybe a surf camp, like experiment a little bit. I will probably do 1 or 2 Worldpackers per country and stay around 1 month in each country. And although for some people this is considered slow traveling, for me it is still a bit faster than what I'm used to. So if at any point I start feeling like I'm getting travel burnout, I will probably try to find a pet sitting or a volunteer opportunity where there are no too few volunteers, so I can have some alone time, some peace of mind, and also some time to edit. Bringing back the map, from Turkey I will go to Georgia, then fast through Russia to get to Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, and back to Kazakhstan to go to Almaty, because that looks like a very nice region that I really want to visit. Then make my way down to Tajikistan and Pakistan until I get to India. In some of these countries in Central Asia, I might stay only a few weeks, and then I'll probably stay longer in India, taking a train to the south to also visit Goa and a few other places. I'll proceed making my way to beautiful Nepal, which I'm super excited for, and from there, my route will depend a lot on the geopolitical situation of the surrounding countries by then. So if it's safe enough, I will go through Bangladesh and Myanmar. If not, I will have to go through Tibet and China. And it's not like I don't want to go to Tibet, I actually would love to, because the beauty of that region is just outstanding, but it is really expensive as they don't let you enter without a guide. So somehow I will make my way to Vietnam and the Backpackers Paradise Southeast Asia, where I have 2 most likely routes, one that goes through Thailand and then Northwest Malaysia, and another one where I take a boat to the Philippines and then another one to East Malaysia. And I'm leaning a bit more towards the second one because I would really love to go to the Philippines, but I will see when I get there. As I get to Indonesia, I will start trying to understand how I can take a boat to get to Australia, and I might even go to East Timor or Papua New Guinea, where it seems to be easier to take a boat to Darwin or Cairns in Australia.
How do you pronounce that? Cairns? 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 Cairns.
Obviously, this is a very general script that I have in my mind. When I'm traveling, I really like to listen to the locals and travelers' recommendations, so pretty much everything is up for a change. And I cannot reinforce this enough, but the main goal of this trip is not to get to Australia, it is to get to know the countries and cultures in between. To understand how the landscapes, the people, and the traditions slowly change as I move instead of just flying over them. I think this is a beautiful way of traveling that brings you a whole other perspective on the world, and that's what I want to experience. I would also love to do 1 or 2 bike trips during this trip, and I might say that West Kazakhstan is looking very tempting. This would be like 1 week long bike trips like the one I did in Portugal, but I would have to see the logistics of everything, like where to get the bikes, the bags, how much everything would cost, so I don't have much to tell you on this topic yet. Anyway, this is the general route of the trip, and if I follow the plan more or less, I'm predicting it will take me around 1.5 years to reach Australia. And for me, this is the perfect balance between not being way too long that I feel like it's a never-ending trip and that it will take me countless years to see my family again, and not being so fast that I feel like I'm not actually experiencing and getting to know the countries I'm passing by. But once again, my plans are pretty flexible, so it might be way shorter or way longer depending on how I feel, who I meet along the way, etc. One thing I get asked a lot about my travels is how I get the money to do this full time and how much it costs. And although for me the key question is not how to get the money, but rather how not to spend it, I still think it's important to be transparent about these kind of things. So starting with how much it will cost, it is very difficult to tell because I have no idea what is going to happen, but I think it will probably be around 3,000 euros in total. And for most of you, this probably sounds like way too little for 1.5 years. But the way I travel, I know I won't be spending pretty much anything on transportation, and then most of the time I will be working in exchange for food and accommodation. So basically, I only need to pay for the hostels and food in between my volunteering opportunities, which is like 3 to 5 days a month. And I might even do couchsurfing instead, making it even cheaper. However, I won't be 100% strict, and obviously I will allow myself something not so much on the budget if I really need to, or if I feel like it would be a huge missed opportunity, like some activities or things that I want to visit. That being said, I think it will probably average 100 to 200 euros per month. What might add a bit more than expected is if I have to go through Tibet, which is like 700 euros extra, I think, and also the boat to Australia, that I'm still trying to understand how everything works and also how much it costs. But those things are still quite a few months ahead, so I hope I will have it figured out by then. Now, do I have the 3,000 euros? Unfortunately, no. If you saw my last video, you know I tried to do different things to earn some money until I eventually got a job for my last 3 months at home, which sadly doesn't add up too much here in Portugal. The last few days I've also been selling postcards to tourists in different Portuguese cities, and I will continue to do so until I leave. But given that I also had to spend some money to have everything ready for this trip, including cheap but good enough filming and editing gear, I will probably leave Portugal with a bit less than 2,000 bucks. This means I need to make money while on the road. There's literally no other choice, and that's why I've been spending so much time working on skills that will hopefully allow me to do so. If plan A goes as expected, I will be able to monetize this trip by posting weekly vlogs here on YouTube, and so my main source of income would be coming from AdSense, which is basically what YouTube pays its creators every time someone sees an ad on their video. And then hopefully I will also be able to make a little bit here and there from affiliate codes of brands like Worldpackers and eSIMs. If you're interested on how all of this social media stuff works and what my exact plan to reach monetization is, then stay tuned for my next video where I will go through my social media strategy in depth. And just as a little side note, although I'm leaving on the 17th of March, I will only start posting the vlogs here on YouTube 1 month later, because they still take some time to edit, and with this 1 month of delay, I can be almost sure that even if I have some chaotic weeks, I won't need to break my posting schedule. If that plan doesn't work and I can't monetize this trip, I will try plan B, which is basically to become an online calisthenics coach. For those of you who don't know me, I've been doing calisthenics for a few years now and recently started taking a calisthenics course to be able to coach. And I know it's not like I snap my fingers and boom, I have a few clients, but having a presence on social media will definitely help a lot. And even if I have only one student, it already makes a big difference. Plan C is settling in whatever country I am and finding any online job. And I really hope I don't need to get to this point, but obviously if it's necessary to stop in any country to make money to continue my journey, I will do it. And if none of that works, I always have the good old way of talking to people and see if someone allows me to work in whatever they have, be it a cafe, a bar, gardening, you name it. Oh, and to make a little extra, I can also try to go around and sell postcards from my country to tourists. Once again, I have no idea how all of this is going to work, but one thing I know for sure is that if I need the money, I will do everything in my power to get it. Like, the money is not stopping me from doing this trip. So yeah, that was basically everything I had to tell you for today. If you have any questions, you can drop them down below and I will happily answer. And once again, in 2 weeks I will post a video about everything I'm taking on my backpack for this trip, and then 2 weeks later another one on my social media strategy. So stay tuned for those, and thank you for watching. See you!